The University of South Africa prides itself for being the African university, shaping futures in the service of humanity. We congratulate all our students for having walked this journey with us. And today, we celebrate you for having successfully completed your qualifications. To you we say, Halala. To all our graduates and diplomandi in this ceremony, please pay attention to the following instructions. For degree qualifications, a graduations officer will signal degree candidates to rise and approach the stage. You will need to have your seat ticket in your right hand with your hood already draped over your shoulders. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up onto the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand in your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. You will then proceed towards the chancellor, vice chancellor or acting vice chancellor and kneel with your right knee on the stool. At this point, your degree will be conferred. You will then proceed to the next official who will congratulate you by shaking your hand. Continue towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Turn and face the audience and remember to stand on the mat with feet markers in front of the registrar and smile for the camera. A second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table at the far right to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. For postgraduate and undergraduate diploma candidates, you will also be wearing your hoods before entering the hall. You will be signaled by a graduations officer to rise and approach the stage. You need to have your seat ticket in your right hand. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up to the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details and hand you back your seat card. Proceed towards the registrar standing at the end of the stage. Stop in front of the registrar and stand on the mat with feet markers. Turn and face the audience. Your second on-stage photograph will be taken at that moment. Leave the stage by the stairs closest to the registrar. Proceed to the table on the far right of the stage to receive your certificate. After receiving your certificate, proceed down the stairs to the foyer area where a head and shoulders photograph will be taken. You will then be directed to return to your seat. We hope that you will enjoy this occasion. The University of South Africa prides itself for being the African university, shaping futures in the service of humanity. We congratulate all our students for having walked this journey with us. And today, we celebrate you for having successfully completed your qualifications. To you we say, Halala. To all our graduates and diplomandi in this ceremony, please pay attention to the following instructions. For degree qualifications, a graduations officer will signal degree candidates to rise and approach the stage. You will need to have your seat ticket in your right hand with your hood already draped over your shoulders. A graduations officer will then indicate to you where you need to wait at the bottom of the stairs and when you may proceed to go up onto the stage and stand on the mat with feet markers next to the podium. You will hand in your seat card to the dean or college representative. Turn and face the audience and look towards the photographer for your first on-stage photograph. The dean or college representative will announce your details.
of the powers vested in me as acting Vice-Chancellor, I constitute this gathering a congregation of the University of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, we request you to join us in silent prayer or meditation to give thanks for the achievements being celebrated on this occasion. You may be seated. Distinguished guests, graduandi, diplomandi, colleagues and cousins, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You are not greeting me, I'm going to repeat. Distinguished guests, graduandi, diplomandi, colleagues and cousins, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. That is better. I don't know where to start, but I will start from the beginning. And I hope I'm not going to talk out of 10. And Afrikaans is better in Afrikaans, but in my language they say, o bolelela nonyani maseong. And in Afrikaans say, a month verby brat, talking out of 10. I often hear students complaining that if you steal ideas from only one person, it is called plagiarism. However, if you steal ideas from many people, it is called research because you have cited them. But you steal from one, plagiarism, you steal from many, is research. And in around 2022, 2023, there was a story in Ramashashani, west of Polokwane, about a lion that went out of the enclosure, and then it confronted this man. And this man said, when he saw the lion, he said, ha, and it says, ho. Just imagine. And then from there, at the University of the Land, because we are very creative, we added a new proverb in the lexicography. And that proverb, it goes, he o ka re ha, se sengwe se tlo re ho. So the originality of that proverb comes from that. And its equivalent in the Northern Sotho is segotle magotlo wa ro bona mosela wa chava. If you can look at the two are the same. Ladies and gentlemen, I am both humbled and elevated by the honor and privilege to welcome you on behalf of the Chancellor, Dr. Thabo Mbeki, and the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Puleng Ngabula, to this graduation ceremony this evening. Kare rime Rashid Song Gavari, Mufana Loi Anga Vakaki, U Tekasisi, Uri Vanwanyana Vaherile. Logo unga fambi udateka makwenu. Indeed, lesogana le sa etego le tšea kgaetšedi. Nkere le tla be le phela le le ka mo gae le bona bokgaetšedi fela. But the English equivalent does not talk of a young man who married his sister, but a person, a man or a woman, who has never left his mother's kitchen. Because you will think the mother is the best cook. If you have never left your mother's kitchen, you surely will think your mother is the best cook. Today, we brought the University of the Land from Magelneck to Mbombela. I think it deserves a round of applause. And I hope by the end of the event, this session, we will all be fed up. Well fed. And representing the Office of the Registrar is Dr. L.P. Molepo, who is the Regional Director. here. And then from the College of Law, Dr. S. Ndlazi. College of Human Sciences, we have Professor Tlavangani. College of Economic and Management Sciences, we have Dr. Masichava, who is the acting executive dean. And College of Science and Engineering and Technology, we have Professor M.L. Lekala and Professor T. Ngambule. College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, we have Professor S.L. Levilo. College of Education, Professor M.M. Poshoko. College of Accounting Sciences, Mr. M.D. Tlongwani and Ms. Dumali Sile. And Graduate School of Business Leadership, we have Dr. Mochara. And the Chancellor's address this evening will be delivered by Dr. M.T. Masichaba. We are also accompanied by colleagues from the Administrative Division, Graduation Division, Department of Institutional Advancement, Facilities Management, Human Resources, Multimedia Center, as well as colleagues from this region, Northeastern region, and the Regional Student Representative Council. Legend has it that the whole world had one language and a common speech. And as people moved eastwards, they found a plain in China and settled there. They said to each other, "Come, let us make bricks and bake them thoroughly." They used bricks instead of stone and tar for mortar. They say, "Come, let us build ourselves a city with a tower that reaches to the heavens so that we may make a name for ourselves. Otherwise, we will be scattered over the face of the whole world." And the story goes on to say, the Lord came down to see the city and the tower people were building. And the Lord said, if as one people speak in the same language, they begin to do this, then nothing will stop them. Come, let us go there and confuse their language. Their language was confused. They scattered all over the world. And this story, ladies and gentlemen, is from the book of the creation written by Moses. I didn't hear any amen. In the absence of amen, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that South Africa is a multicultural and multilingual country where intercultural communication cannot be avoided. Hence, I was using different languages. And language is one of the enablers or barriers to cross-cultural communication. Ways in which language can be a barrier to intercultural communication are problems of vocabulary equivalence, idiomatic equivalence, experiential equivalence, and conceptual equivalence. There are instances where speakers have a common language, but some people are more fluent than others, and it creates social distance between the same speakers. And in extreme instances, speakers in the same environment do not share a common language, and this creates communication barrier between the speakers. And a communication mechanism needs to be put in place to facilitate communication. Often, people go for translation and interpretation as the communication gap. And in South Africa, multilingual contexts like legal courts, criminal cases, hospitals, clinics, health establishments, inaccurate translation or misinterpretation can lead to serious miscarriage of justice and poor service delivery. If a language is not correct, then what is said is not what is meant. Then what must be done remains undone. If this remains undone, morals and art will deteriorate. If justice goes astray, the people will stand about in helpless confusion. With the Proverbs is even more. Think of the following proverb. Chipu irile ke lebelo, motlaba wa re ke nabile. Can you translate it? I remember one day in court, somebody used the expression, and then the poor interpreter didn't even know what chipu is in English. And then he said, a certain animal said, run, run. And the saint said, I'm flat. Then it loses the meaning. But in Xitsonga, it says, Shinchengwe shiti nji revilo, siri kunzima navile, makatlamba zimi luangu. In English, the direct translation says, a spring hare said, I am faster. and the sun said, I am stretched out. It doesn't mean anything. But the actual equivalent is pride comes before fall. So imagine the injustice that can be done. So proverbs can also express a wide range of emotion, from excitement to depression, love to hate, heroism to cowardice, and anything in between. And with the sense of, I just want to quote from Judge Bennett Ngwebe in one of his cases, before he became a judge, when he was still an advocate representing somebody. It transpired that there was an Eskom electricity pylon where the person was struck by the lightning. And then the community they banned somebody saying that this is the person who caused that one to be banned by the lightning. So the judge, then he was the advocate, he has to represent somebody in court in that case. And during the cross-examination, when squeezed by the judge how the disease could possibly have been associated with the lightning, one of the accused told him with all the confidence in the world that one person could cause a lightning to strike another. Curious, possibly amused, or even irritated, this was the white judge, wanted to know how that could possibly be done. He got more than what he bargained for, thanks largely to poor interpretation. The accused stated his case as best he could in Setswana language. And Advocate Ngwebe said, had he been the interpreter, he would have interpreted what he said for what it was worth into English as follows. You buy from the competent witch doctor or the medicine man the appropriate muti that, when applied, causes the lightning to strike another person. But instead of saying one could buy that kind of muti, the interpreter simply said one could buy a lightning, being the literal interpretation of what the accused had said. So the matter became more complicated. The judge was puzzled. By a lightning, the accused said yes. The judge, by a lightning where? The accused said there was an old man going around in the village on a bicycle selling lightning. Here again, the interpreter should have said selling muti. Judge, what an old man selling lightning in the street of Maraka on a bicycle? Accused said yes. The judge, exacerbated, turned to the advocate Ngwebe. Mr. Ngwebe, this is now going too far. He threw his pen onto his bed, stood up and shouted, "Court adjourned." He walked out. Yet he was otherwise normally a remarkable, nice and composed person. So the advocate immediately followed him to his chamber with the prosecutor in tow. He was determined to explain to him that perhaps he should bear in mind that the way he reacted could intimidate the clients from articulating their belief. Once he saw the advocate walk in, he was all smile. He clearly was not impressed with the beliefs of the client, were fitting him with what commended him for standing up for the client. He understood that he was judging in a multicultural society, which was why the trial thereafter peacefully continued. And at the judgment, the judge said, this is a strange case indeed. This is a case in which the blind was asked to tell what they had seen. A case where people buried somebody some 6 feet into the ground, but immediately thereafter demanded of their victim to produce him. A case in which we were told that an old man was selling lightning on a bicycle in the street of Maraka. So multilingualism practices tends to create the development and general acquisition of cross-cultural communication skills. And in this regard, people tend to learn different skills of the languages in places, especially speaking, reading, and even writing. So some of us can speak any language in the world only if it is written in English. So multilingualism is not only speaking different words for the same thing in different languages, but it is venturing into another way to think about things. I have just paraphrased Flora Lewis, so that turn it in does not deal with me. Perhaps quoting him verbatim, Lewis says learning another language is not only learning different words for the same thing, but learning another way to think about things. Moeng e tla ka ga e rije ka wena, le amogelegile. I am delighted as I am told that a visitor comes with 10 blessings. Eat one and leave 9. You are going to eat one today and leave 9 for the rest of us. You are welcome. Relax and enjoy the proceedings. I am now going to request Dr. M.T. Masichaba to deliver the Chancellor's address.
Fellow Africans, fellow South Africans, Dubelang, Sanibonani, Molweni, Abusheni, Lochani, Khotsong. Today we do not gather to mourn what is broken in South Africa. We gather to awaken what is waiting, and what is waiting is within us. Economists and politicians call it the triple challenge of South Africa. And I'm looking at the blue belts. We call it inequality, poverty, and unemployment. But I ask you, how can there be equality when the stomach groans empty? How can there be equality when the young bury their dreams before they can bloom? Unemployment is not just an economic figure, and some of you here might be unemployed. Unemployment is a stolen future. It is a silenced voice. It is a brilliance barricaded by hopelessness. But Africa does not break, and you are Africa. Like strong bamboo, deep-rooted in her gold and platinum-filled ground, Africa is not broken by winds. Africa bends, but she bends towards the sun. From the dust of Matsula to the valleys of Cairo, from the huts of Baptina to the boardrooms of Accra. We know this from our professor, Ngugi wa Thiong'o, that local is global. So we do not need to borrow hope from others. We do not need to import our dignity. We are not waiting for permission to rise. We have our indigenous knowledge systems. We have our Ubuntu, we have our Lifa, we have our Hlaku and our Mila. All these technologies that come from our ancestors, they hold technologies of community, of farming, of healing, of governance, of education, of parenting, long before colonizers drew borders around us. Our foremothers and our forefathers knew economy not only as markets, but as shared work, shared land, and shared wealth. So let us tap back into that power. Let us invest in rural youth, not just in sentence skylines. Let us build with our hands, not only with donor dollars. Let us digitize our languages. You heard the acting Vice Chancellor speak in all the languages. Let us dream in isiNdebele. Let us sell in Xitsonga. Because in a world hungry for meaning, only our authenticity is our export. Let us build a South Africa and an Africa that teaches the world that poverty is not natural, that inequality is not destiny, and that unemployment is not final. Let us declare our new revolution, a revolution of jobs born from us through entrepreneurship, through our own hands, and through our own minds, of equality fertilized by education, and of poverty ended by purpose. Let us carry these words from the brilliant Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, who reminds us that our histories cling to us and we are shaped by where we come from. So let us shape the future with where we come from. We are a continent that gave the world rhythm. No one can dance like we do. We are not the poor of the world, but we are the seed of its renewal. Let us rise, not with clenched fists, but with open minds, rooted feet, and daring hearts. I know that most of you here have sat and binged on Revenge Diaries. So let's go back and do the same, make money the way other people make money, and not cry about employment. Let's have hope. From the soil up, we will rise. From the soil up, we will rise. From the soil up, we will rise, and the world will follow us. Thank you.
Dr. Masichaba is reminding us that we can do it if we really, really want to. We don't have to wait for someone to tell us we can do it or do it for us. Otherwise, if we wait for somebody, then we're creating what Sisande calls gate crushers will become gatekeepers, and you will struggle to access your own knowledge system. And you will become gate crusher, and you're no longer owning that information or knowledge system. Let us give her a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start with the conferment of the degrees and diplomas, may I kindly request you not to leave the hall before the end of the ceremony. By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I shall now proceed to confer the degrees and diplomas of the university on the candidates whose names appear in the program, and I request the representatives of the colleges to present the candidates to me.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Science Honours. Sylvester Lubisi. Pilani Sipiwe Kuhle Magagula. Skhulekile Ntimane.
Mr. Acting Vice-Chancellor, I have the honor to introduce the following candidates for the Bachelor's degree of Science Honours. Ndombizoda Sevilla. Sorry. Vudisani Charlene Mabunda.
Mr. Acting Vice-Chancellor, Tembinkosi Kevin Zulu receives the degree of Bachelor of Theology Honours. Mr. Acting Vice-Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honours. Philippa Abraham. Eric Sien Denson. Amos Wonder Boy Gamede. Guguletu Adelaide Khoza. Nomonde Felicity Kumalo. Nosihle Notando Gunene receives the degree with distinction. Nokubonga Masha Lukele. Sipho Brinet Mapanga. Refilwe Joyce Masango. Smile. Amukelani Kate Mashiko. Talita Zandi Matebula. Lungile Philile Mavuso. Smile. Alina Sibongile Mbatha. Confidence Duncan Mdlovu. Reranzu Mnisi. George Pororo Mthethwa. Vuyeya Rose Mushwana. Estelle Naidu. Nomfundo Asimina Nhlapho. Doreen Nkona.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the Bachelor of Commerce Honours. Nozbusiso Dlamini. Samkelisiwe Gama. Yethu Witness Gamedze. Pranesh Vijay Hagovan. June Sakile Sibuyeni Jele. Weekend Khoza. Nonduduzo Samkelesiwe Kumalo. Mpho Louisa Lidwaba. Nelisiwe Christabel Magagula. Fatima Mansour obtained a degree with distinction. Claudie Masilani. Chantel Spelele Mate. Chantel Spelele Mate. Satiso Louis Mdruli. Nokwanda Mhlanga. Doli Mkansi. Agreement lost amnisi. Trudy Nompumelelo Mnisi. Kiyashni Munsemi. Cynthia Greni Msimango. Lungile Pride Ndlovu. Fanisile Hilda Ngwenyama. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Administration Honours. Bongiwe Innocentia Jele. Faith Immortal Mbanze. Mainwasi Jacqueline Nkuna. Tandi Kanyisani Sienga. Tembeli Zanele Tabete.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Education Honours. Pindoguhle Shanis Masego. Daphne Debra Mashiro. Audrey Mohube Mokwala.
Mr. Acting Chancellor, Lungile Nozipo Tabete received the degree of Bachelor of Administration. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Ntokozo Fortunate Singwani received the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Tili Charlotte Matebula. Gladys Chilwani. Linky Zanele Mabila. Again, Chantel Madalani. Pindile Petunia Magagula. Zamkutle Cornelia Mkabela. Nkululeko Zibonelo Mkhwanazi. Melusi Shepherd Phakathi. Siyabonga Shelisha Ngube.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidate received the degree of Bachelor of Commerce, of Bachelor of Accounting Sciences. Aleta Katarina Arnoldi. Lianka Trowell. Etienne Lowe. Mosela Agnes Machaka. Lindokuhle Nomfundo Felicity Nkosi. Mbali Ntuli.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Laws. Amy Bezaidenote. Nomonde Fortune Dube. Sizwe Wensley Mashiru. Paulo Mazibuko. Nonki Joy Mgwenya. Nokulunga Innocentia Mngomane. Wendy Nothando Singwane. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Doreen Poncho Manzini. Tenele Stembile Msibi.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidate received the degree of Bachelor of Science. Lotina Mashweu.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Ria Tiao Reid received the degree of Bachelor of Science. The degree was obtained with a distinction. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Sensia Sibia Hlebeya received the degree of Bachelor of Arts.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Social Work. Confidence Mohlala. Mpuwe Lucia Sekobela. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Information Science. Sibongile Happiness Mudumola. Smile. Tabile Ania Musume. Temalusi Tabete. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Tepiso Henriette Sitole. Lina Amanda Malumane. Nelisiwe Mthembi. Sisanza Simile Dlamini. Ayanda Susan Chantel Maseko. Lucky Sylvester Muhloba. Michael Mantika Nkuna.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the degree of Bachelor of Education. Bongekile Gloria Dlamini. Tholakele Hlatshwayo. Respect Khwedi. Nomcebo Khoza. Debate Millicent Komana. Sipesihle Gladness Lusenga. Shirley Precious Mabuza. Rivoningo Nelly Mabialani. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Loverboy Punasi Madonsela received the degree with distinction. Nonopila Magongo. Lungile Mangoba Matlabane. Sipagamile Ayanda Makam. Chantel Nokwanda Malevu. Dimakato Precious Mashiro. Mpumelelo Hazel Masilela. Glen Rose Nomalungelo Masugu. Selina Mavis Mate. Doreen Zanele Mazibugo. Mildred Altricia Mhlongo. Zanele Gcinapi Mhlongo. Akani Cute Mkonto. Yvonne Lindi Mkonto. Nobuhle Pretty Mkwanazi. Ayanda Poshia Muyani. Siyanda Cedric Manyuku. Nkateko Nonhlanhla Ndlovu. Esther Tembelihle Ndimande. Gracious Ndlovu. Ingiphile Ndlovu. Nelisiwe Ndlovu. Tobile Lizzy Ndlovu. Sindisiwe Memorial Nkalanga. Manesi Eunice Nkonyana. Andile Perseverance Kuhle Nkosi. Nokukhanya Nkosi. Nomonde Tracy Nkosi. Nonduduzo Hoshia Nkosi. Sandra Christina Nkuna. Mika Innocent Shabangu. Zanele Adelaide Shabangu. Clarence Shakwani. Mtutuzi Ben Sibego. Nyathela Ellen Sithole. Lehlohonolo Prudence Tobejani. Zodwa Tabile Hlophe, Nelsiwe Nontobeko Zulu, Ntomfuthi Zodwa Buthelezi, Zodwa Neli Dlamini, Tembekile Precious Duma, Duduzile Hlatshwayo, Daphne Khoza, Hlengiwe Constance Makakula, Gina Nomthandazo Mahlalela, Sibongile Manyike, Queen Manzini, Mzwakhe Papi Matani, Lihle Bonisile Mavimbela, Winile Phumlapi Mlangeni, Selby Beki Mukwena, Phumla Faith Nkensani, welcome Lindokuhle Ntandane, Kethiwe Promise Ntshangase, Elmin Riranzo Sipalana, Thokozile Faith Shongwe, Princess Sibambo, Princess Keliwe Sibia, Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Elana Tasha Stradom obtained the degree with distinction. Prudence Nomfundo Tabete,
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the diploma candidates will now be introduced to you. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Mpo Promise Matebula. Sikulile Victress Nyalungu.
Yeah. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Sizolethu Mkhuleko Penuel Ntsingwane received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Accounting Sciences.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Economic and Management Sciences. Millicent Nombulelo Bali. Winnie Khosa. Dumisile Vivian Khosa. Mhlakanipo Sanele Jason Maseko. Success Ntando Mashaba. Sbongile Innocentia Masina. Sebenzile Beauty Mate. Lomakhosi Patience Matebula. Cynthia Bonisile Mdluli. Rodney Sibusiso Msimango. Zenzilu Yanda Nkambule. Nkosi Ngiphile Nkonyane. Nompilo Nokwanda Simelani. Masa Ngobile Vuma. Gloria Matabohwete.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Human Sciences. Beauty Cindy Chauke. Tinyiko Ndlovu.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, Zodwa Cebile Ngobeni received the postgraduate diploma in the College of Education.
Yes. Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates receive the diploma in the College of Human Sciences, Malebu Libyani. Rachel Itumeleng Ramatabata Mahlaji. Pindile Happiness Matebula. Zweliting Nismanga Mkabela. Sobisile Precious Memo. Kayale to Prisgate Mondlana. Matonga se Patience Ngongwani. Douglas Ndiweni. Lerato Jennifer Ngosi. Shirley Tess Nyakane. Clifford Phako.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences. Tinyiko Velina Khoza. Kensani Mahungele. Rithabile Khawelo Malepe. Winile Thuli Mashabane.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received the diploma in the College of Science, Engineering and Technology. Kenneth Ngosi. Morongwa Doli Sokholela.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received a diploma in the College of Law. Puleng Eva Chauke. Lashia Vutari Koza. Nomkosi Hazel Koza. Uratile Nicholas Shakil Koza. Makuto Mafukane. December Nkosingipile Maliba. Nompumelelo Mapanga. Lindokuhle Perseverance Masuku. Wandile Prince Mbata. Margaret Cynthia Mbebe. Elaine Lily Mnisi. Tumi Mushala. Tabo Muraba. Jennifer Ngobeni. Daphne Tuli Ngomane. Buhle Benkosi Felicia Nkosi. Shirley Nkuna. Nompumelelo Antoinette Nzimande. Tolakele Cebisile Sambo. Condile Beulah Silinda. Witness Bridget Silubane.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidates received a diploma in the College of Economic and Management Sciences. Nkateko Mapaseka Dibakwani. Refilwe Phala. Betty Christina Tibani.
Mr. Acting Vice Chancellor, the following candidate receives the degree of Bachelor of Education. Gugu Precious Siboza.
Dames en heren, lies om de leer om de lewe. I still don't know what it means. But if I heard the renditions melody and the voice of Dolly Parton, I would sing, "It is my time." Graduandi and diplomandi, can you say, "It is our time"? It is your time to celebrate. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give them a round of applause. I talked of a parity of esteem for languages. But before I continue with that congratulatory message, graduandi and diplomandi, if you are really, really happy and you want to show it, clap your hands. Where I come from, there is an adage that says, "Moeng wa boshigo ga a rakwe." Ge o ka moraka o tla be wa raka le motlabo wa mmago. It is very loaded, both figuratively and literally. When I asked language experts about the equivalent, one said it means do not throw the baby with the bathwater, but it doesn't sound closer. Another one said it may mean don't kill the goose that laid the golden egg. Still, it doesn't. However, I believe that the Northern Sotho saying is best described in the letter to the Hebrews 13 verse 2, which reads, "Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by so doing some people have shown hospitality to angels without knowing it." I didn't hear a lot of amen. With that amen, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you a very brief story that happened in the 4th Industrial Revolution, wherein a donkey and a goat were traveling by taxi to Mbombela. And upon arrival, you know, in the taxi we normally pay when we disembark. Upon arrival, when they disembark, the goat decided to run away and not pay. And then the donkey had to pay extra for his friend. So that's why nowadays when you're driving and then on the road you see a donkey doesn't move, it's because it wants its change. It will never move. But when you see the goat, it's running away because it's thinking that it's going to pay. So it doesn't want to pay. So today we are celebrating achievement of our loved ones who do the magical powers of books. And books are like a windows into another world. With each new page, they introduce us to new people, new culture. But from the African perspective, what I've just said. Stories instead of books are told and retold by the griot. The griot is the storyteller. At night, during the lunar month, when the moon is fat in the sky, while casting shadows from trees, valleys, hills, and mountains. And telling stories always allows listeners to experience different worlds, countries, and traditions, just like reading a book. And storytelling has been proven to help develop a sense of empathy, as listeners are encouraged to put themselves in the position of the story's protagonist, to consider their actions, reactions, and why they may have made them. This provides the listener with a window to a new world without realizing it. They are learning valuable life lessons through hearing, engaging, exciting stories. And there are many small stories that fit the big stories, and some stories that lead nowhere, vanishing into the sand. But the advantage with storytelling is that even after the griot has narrated the story, the griot still has control over his or her story and need not copyright it, but we only copyleft it. Because the griot can still share this story with others at his or her leisure, and the other person who received the story can also share the story with others, and thereby creating many copies, because the story is copylefted. Dr. Masichaba earlier on spoke about creativity. We need to be creative with these papers that we have now. It is not just for ceremonial purpose. And once we are creative, but we're still going to face dilemmas. We can learn from Leonardo da Vinci, who wasn't just an artist. He envisioned flying machine many years before it can be invented. And the surgery, many years, traffic lights, anatomical studies, engineering concepts, way ahead of his time. Those, as you see a plane flying today, it was because of his vision, because he drew it on paper first. Or perhaps we can learn from René Descartes with his coordinations of GPS. He developed them long time before we can come with this send me location. And Alexander Bell, after inventing the telephone, you know what his dilemma was? He said invention was not an issue for him. The issue was for people to start using the phone. It's the same as you. You can remember the advert of Telkom wherein a new phone is installed, and then the neighbor is calling the other neighbor to greet. And instead of just saying, hello, how are you? And then he went outside and, molo mutobwa. And your paper should be like, you should it should brand you, and you should be like KFC. You know, I like KFC. One day when I was traveling north to Limpopo from Pretoria, I stopped by a garage, an engine garage, which had a store inside. They were selling a fried chicken. There was a gentleman in front of me. He said to the cashier, how much is this KFC? And it was not a KFC shop. Then I was saying to myself, it means the KFC has done a lot of work to the extent that every fried chicken is KFC. Every plastic bag is Checkers. Every makeup is Pond's. So you will know that you have done a great job. The same as you, even with your qualification, it must talk on your behalf. And as we move forward, we need to know how we will rebound economically, and how are people, especially women, people with disability, and how are they impacted by all what we are doing. I guess the graduandi and the diplomandi have heard the prophets of doom as clouds float weightlessly in the sky, forecasters making profit of gloom, From cloudy forecast to clear sky, giving the hint of rain in the air. As it rains, cloud gather. Birds of the sky hover in the air, showing the signs of joy. For every cloud has a silver lining, putting us up in the cloud cuckoo land as we relax in cloud 9, once in a blue moon, getting wet as it is raining. Ladies and gentlemen, we are expected to do more and more with fewer and fewer resources. And we should draw lessons from King David, who killed the lion, Samson, who killed Goliath, but it doesn't matter. But David improvised, given the little resources he had, and killed the giant with the 5th stone. And so was Samson, who made the weapon out of a donkey jaw. He didn't have any. And books teach us about the past. And in our African tradition, oral history gives that a voice. And with oral history, we can always ask why the story is told, who tells the story, where the story is told, and when it is told. And it gives the voiceless the voice. But we must be careful that even in the critical emancipatory paradigm, there is elitism. This may also result in unbalanced, biased power relation in which the dominant hunter upsets the role of telling the stories of the hunted lions. And in this regard, the lions and lioness would sometimes speak on behalf of the takers and the anteaters. So we mustn't do that. We must avoid it. And on behalf of the Chancellor and Vice-Chancellor, who are not with us tonight, we thank you for choosing the University of the Land. That is ranked number 6 in the 2023 research output and throughput on the Department of Higher Education and Training list. Can we give that a round of applause? And let us celebrate responsibly tonight. I know it's the end of the week. So we are going to make parties. So we must celebrate responsibly, knowing that I don't see any red gown tonight. So it means you are still coming. We are still going to meet. It is not the end of the road. Let us celebrate tonight, and I congratulate you. As I'm going to take my seat, you know, in the past when we were finishing writing letters to our friends, we were using pens. We will say, let me pen off. Now we are in the 4th Industrial Revolution, wherein we are mousing off. But before I mouse off, I would like the graduandi and diplomandi to just show the people who accompanied them here tonight, show them your certificates. I think they didn't see the certificates, they saw the scrolls. Can you just stand up and show them the certificate? That is better, because you might not open that, and when you arrive at home, you find that there is nothing inside. or there's something, but it is empty. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is exactly 7:37. Can you give me a round of applause? Ladies and gentlemen, now that you have graduated, you have become part of the UNISA alumni, you are now part of the illustrious Circle of Excellence. Your responsibility is to contribute and help define tomorrow. There are many things you can do to help shape the future in service of humanity. Become an e-tutor, continue your lifelong journey with the College of Graduate Studies and produce knowledge that will help societies. And lastly, donate to the University of South Africa Bursary Fund by using the online platform worldwideweb.unisa.ac.za and donate so that other students can also study through UNISA and become part of the hashtag Circle of Excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, after this announcement, I would like you to rise for the singing of the national anthem, the words of which are to be found on page 25 of the program, and to remain standing after the anthem to enable me to dissolve the congregation. You are also requested to remain standing while the academic procession leaves the hall. You may stand. By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I dissolve this congregation of the University of South Africa.